Okay, in this video, I have just this capacitor on its own, and I have it propped up vertically. Switch is actually switching perfectly right now. Best I've ever had it. The voltage of the capacitor bank is currently at 216 and dropping slowly. Got a little diode on here, so now when I free spin it, it can free spin basically. But see how you saw that where it was kind of charging? Even though that there's a diode on there, the thing produces so much voltage that it's bypassing the diode and charging the capacitor yet. So now when I swap this to the like a direct line, come on. Right now it's directly connected to the wire, and it, with it being directly connected, it spins kind of slower. But now I can charge the capacitor. This is how I've been charging it actually, not with the bug zapper circuit. That's what that is a bug zapper circuit. But this thing generates enough power to charge the capacitor, even though the capacitor is not that much microfarads. It has a high voltage, but it's not that much for microfarads. So I'll charge this thing up. Oh crap. Alright, good. It scared me for a second. I thought I messed up my multimeter. Because when it arcs like that, it kind of messes with it, putting high voltage spikes to the meter, which is probably not great for it. Maybe I shouldn't spin it so fast. Alright, I want to stop at 400 because my hand's getting tired. Because there's quite a bit of drag on it to get it to charge. Alright, so current speed at 400. This capacitor has terrible leakage current. It's freaking horrible. Comparing to this one tapers off. This is a more expensive one, but I peeled off the label, but I wrote down what it was, so I knew. Yeah, these are just cheap Amazon capacitors. They work, but not the greatest. But I wanted to make something that was of higher voltage than the 250. This bank will do 1350. It's just 3 of these in series and 3 of them in parallel. That's all it is. So now it's around 380. Still got decent torque yet. And to think that it can run like this with just a capacitor, it's almost like it's a battery, but it's not. Because there's so much damn resistance in the coils that it just works like this. I really, like I said in the past, I really wish I could do all 12, but I can't. And the Temco Industrials no longer wants to sell magnet wire, unfortunately. First, they discontinued this, probably because they had so many problems with it because it's so thin. It had 41 gauge was their most, and I bought it. I bought 12 of them. About 7 out of the 12 were usable. And it was cool because they sold it to where both ends of the wire were exposed. That was their thing. So, unfortunately, I no longer can even make, if I even wanted to purchase, I can't. Which sucks, because I really would like to actually build this thing completely. But now I'm stuck with 6. But either way, it's still pretty good. I'm satisfied. And at this current discharge rate, it would probably last a half an hour on that one capacitor. And if you could get rid of all that leakage current in the capacitor, it would be even better. Because look how much it's draining. I guess quite a bit. And then when I, get the motor moving, it really doesn't affect it that much more. Alright, now I'm going to switch this back to the diode in line with the wire, or the coils. Then you'll see the RPM kind of rise. Come on. Now the RPM is rising very slightly. It's not like a lot, but it's there. You can kind of tell actually. And when I was showing you before, now that the diode's in there, when you spin this, it really shouldn't be putting power into the capacitor. It should just free spin more or less. But it produces so much output voltage that it actually starts bypassing the diode and starts charging the capacitor. So you watch. I don't want to go too much with it though, because I could destroy the the diode. But see how now it's actually charging the capacitor? And I'm not putting that much effort into it to charge. I'll just let it kind of go on its own. And it seems to stay spinning faster for longer when I do that, which is kind of interesting. And there's no way I can be faking this because this is my only wire connection, and that's my only wire connection. There's nothing underneath, no wireless charging, nothing crazy. Just this capacitor, that's it. That's all it is. All it is. Nothing special. Now I think what I'm gonna do is get something, built onto the motor frame. I'm gonna have or maybe two of my biggest supercapacitors charging the capacitor, and I'll probably use this capacitor bank so I can get at least 1400 volts output, so the motor will spin at a decent rate. So if I go, for example, these big boys. Got a lot of capacity. So just think 3400 farads in one. And in this, you have only 220 microfarads only. And it's able to run this motor with torque at this much of runtime. That's insane. How much runtime could I get out of just one of these, charging one of those, running the motor? Yeah, that's what I'm working towards right now. And that's going to be kind of interesting. See how long, like, one charge cycle on the supercapacitor charging this could run for like months. I mean, I could see it, because look at how little it's draining. And I could double up the capacitor, so the output voltage on those bigger ones are 2.85 at max. And if I double them up, I'm gonna probably easily get 6 volts, and then I can discharge it down to about a volt-ish, I think. Yeah, maybe not quite that low, probably like 1.5 volts. But yeah, that's a lot of capacity I could drain to charge this. That's why I keep saying the high voltage is efficient. Although, like someone has commented, yes, they are, air core, and there's really not that much of a connection. Like, there's probably, like, with it being vertical, there's about a little bit more than an 1/8 inch of a gap from the magnets to the coils. But now when it's sitting horizontally, resting on the magnetic field down there, it's probably more like 3/8 to a 1/2 inch gap almost. So, I mean, and then these are N48 magnets that have a 400 pound pull force per magnet. but it's the whole point of it is that it's high resistance, but yet has torque and power, and it's able to run on such little capacity that you can't beat it. Like, how do you? There's no way any other motor could run on something like this. Like, it would require a supercapacitor for it to run. And sure, it may last a while on a supercapacitor, but know how much current and power it's consuming comparing to this? This thing's consuming nothing. Like, literally nothing. And if I, take power from it, this is what it'll be when it's short-circuited. This is shorting towards the coils. It's constantly current pulling. Not even current, voltage, basically. But see how little still it pulls from the capacitor? And that's just a dead short to the coils. Now I'll let it go. And there it goes. Back to using practically nothing. The capacitor discharges more almost than the motor itself running. Like, watch. Now it's not running the motor. The leakage current in the capacitor itself is almost as much as the motor running. And unfortunately, it's really hard to measure the current. I mean, I could get my multimeter to the microamps, but the fuse is burnt out on all of them. And it's a tiny little fuse, like I said in the other videos. I can't find it. So I might just have to, I really don't want to keep spending money, but I might have to buy another one of these multimeters. Maybe later, once I get things more squared off with this. Then I'll start measuring power in and all that. But yeah, this video starting to get a little long. I'll cut it off here. And this is where I'm at so far then. See ya.